colleague, Shimelis Gebremichael. I have had the privilege of working over the last 6 months with Shimelis, and his accomplishments are impressive. Scant 4 years ago, he arrived in Edmonton from Ethiopia, and he's accomplished an incredible amount. He came with considerable achievements, 2 degrees from the University of Addis Ababa, a BA in literature and language that he told me was curated or was organized by a Norwegian university, and a master's in journalism and communication. And he also had professional experience working as a journalist in both print and digital media. Even with these resources, Edmonton provided its cultural and weather shocks, and we still reel from those. He has accomplished, as I said, a remarkable amount. In the last 2 years, he has completed the coursework for a master's in communication technology offered through the University of Alberta Faculty Extension, and he's working on a thesis that's concerned with the makerspace at the public library.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, Jenny, for that nice introduction. As you said, I am originally from Ethiopia, and I came to Canada around 4 years ago. So you can see how the world is becoming very small. From lately, we were connected to China, and now I'm going to connect you to the Eastern Africa. And over the last 7 months or so, myself and Jenny Edwards were working on a personal memoir of my experience in Canada over the last 4 years. So my memoir contains 5 separate stories, and my first story is my shock when I encountered the Alberta weather. And then after that, I found myself in one of the busiest places in downtown Edmonton, the Stanley M. Millen Library. That's how I explored Canada more. That's where I knew many people. I learned a lot, and including the connection towards the Writers Guild Alberta. And taking this opportunity, I would like to also appreciate all the team at the Writers Guild Alberta, especially Julie. So, out of the 5 stories I told you, I will be selecting few paragraphs from the 3 stories. One is the story when I left Ethiopia, and the title of that story is called Broken Promises. And the other story is on a story about the weather, which is entitled When Weather Talks Loud. And the third one is my experience at the Stanley M. Millen Library, and that piece, after a lot of work, has been entitled A Small Gift. So, 5 stories on 4-year experience in Edmonton. Tonight, I will share with you some key descriptions I used on the 3 of the stories, on how I missed my home country, Ethiopia, how I struggled with the horrible Alberta weather, and how life's journey started to challenge me as I intermingle with whole Edmontonians. The first story is entitled Broken Promises. Broken Promises. Shime, my friend Mengistu shouts across the crowded, buzzing room. He uses my nickname, and I shout back, Mange. We have often remarked that he has the same name, Mengistu Haile Mariam, one of the leaders of the communist era in Ethiopia, the turbulent 17 years between the 1970s to the 1990s when Mengi and I were growing up. We make our way toward each other, and Mengi gripped my shoulder to get my full attention. See my lovely feet here? You remember that they are 9.5, right? He grins. Yes, how about them? So, when you get to Canada and start to grab dollars, remember your old friend here. Adidas would be great, but Nike will work just as well. I'm in the middle of a gathering in my home city in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia's capital city, to celebrate my life-altering decision to immigrate to Canada. My wonderful aunt Shimelis, whom I have always called Mommy, has orchestrated this evening in a spectacular way to make my Last Supper delightful and unforgettable. I'm simmering in the smells and tastes and color of the festivity. The taste of kitfo, a beloved Ethiopian dish of minced raw beef mixed with spices and butter, fills my senses. I'm overcome with nostalgia, knowing that it will be a long while before I am able to return to my homeland. Mellowness envelops me as I enjoy tella, traditional Ethiopian beer, and tej, a rich honey wine. I'm grateful for the effort of my brave aunt Hitel has gone through to make this gathering a success. Since I lost my own mother 7 years ago, Mommy has become even more important and beloved to me. Like my fellow citizens and friends, I fantasized that Canada offered virtually instant prosperity. I was hoping to get rich, prosperous, and lead a high standard life as soon as I was to reach Canada. I was heading to a new chapter in life that many Ethiopians aspire to. I believed, like many of my friends and fellow citizens, that Canada offered a shortcut to prosperity. Perhaps this perception, with my experience here has shown me, was rather naive. Exists because of the inappropriate explanations of fellow veteran immigrants and the media. Typically, they entertain a more happy ever narrative about this part of the world. I never thought of the challenging moments, consistently paying my bills, generating money for my household needs, purchasing and running vehicles, and so on. This whole experience has caused me to meditate on Oscar Wilde's famous quote, "To expect the unexpected shows a thoroughly modern intellect." There are no shortcuts. 4 years after I left my birth country, I'm not sure if I can ever fulfill those promises I made to my friends and family. It will be some time before I am able to buy a Nikes and Adidas shoes Mengi jokingly asked me to get for him at my departure party. Right now, I can only promise to myself that I can make my most sincere effort to fit into the system and make my life a success. I'm well convinced that from now on, I will never promise to anyone anything, as life's journey is always unpredictable. I wish all my fellow Ethiopians would know and truly sense this transition and forgive the likes of me.